This is an introduction to the Summit Home Tutors franchise opportunity. So what is the service that Summit Home Tutor franchisees offer? What they offer is an introductory service linking students and clients with tutors in their local area. There is no program as such, so teaching content is down to the tutors. We're not centre based, although this is an option. So some of our franchisees do organise centre based training, in other words, getting students to come to one place and all be taught together in small groups. But it's always done by either a introduced tutor, so in other words it's organised that a tutor goes and delivers that, or it may be that the franchisee themselves has some experience and has been an ex-teacher or an ex-education professional at one point or another. But that's not a requirement of the franchise, so you don't have to have experience of education to be a franchisee, because ultimately you earn your margin in this business, you earn your money in this business from making the introduction between the tutor and the student at the local level. And that is what we would term our USP, because what we're trying to do is not introduce people at a national level using a sort of a generic database of tutors, but we're trying to make that introduction and match at a local level based on the requirements of the student, where they live, and also softer matching points such as the type of tutor it is and the type of student it may be and the kind of tutor they are looking for. So in making that introduction, the franchisee makes a margin of somewhere between £5 and £10. So the tutors will set their own rates, and then the franchisee will set their own margin, which is somewhere between £5 and £10, entirely down to the franchisee. The markets that are open to our service are very broad, but generally speaking they would be school age children, all subjects, all levels, so particularly GCSE, A level, maybe Key Stage 2 SATs, possibly the 11 plus to get children through the 11 plus. But also, leaving that aside, there are also many adults that need basic skills training as well. So there are many, for example, people going into apprenticeships which still need their English and Maths GCSE. But beyond that, there are also adults needing basic skills training. And also, in addition to that, of course, there are adult and children interests and new skills. So learning a musical instrument, for example, or learning another hobby or skill. In terms of running the business, what is it that our franchisees would do? They'd find experienced tutors in their local area. Once they've got a database built up of experienced tutors, and that should only take a couple of months, it's then down to starting to market the service to potential students and clients through various marketing strategies which we advise on. And then it's a case of, once a student or a client makes contact with you, you then find the right match and put the two together. Then the tutor starts to teach the student and they will collect your fee. So the model we operate is that all the tutors will collect the franchisee's margin. So if, for example, a tutor is charging £20 for a lesson, they'll then add your £5, £6, £7, £8 a lesson onto that, collect it on your behalf. Then at the end of the month, the tutor will do an online return to you and pay you the amount that they've collected on your behalf. That makes administration of this business very, very simple, because the places that you're getting your money from are limited just to your tutors. There's no bad debt risk, which is what you get if you're invoicing the students and clients direct. So you can be in a situation where you're paying out to tutors and you're not collecting money in from students, so you get the bad debt risk that way round. And also, because your tutors are self-employed, if you start to invoice the client for the whole amount and pay the tutor, it's a very convoluted and complicated way of paying without you looking like an employer, which of course in this scenario you're definitely not. So it is a much easier business and we believe a more correct way of doing things for the tutor to collect the money on your behalf. Some people say, isn't there a risk that the tutor would collect your margin or make a private arrangement? but there is a contractual agreement between you and the tutor that they won't do such a thing. It's also in the terms and conditions for the client. So it would be a breach of contract. But in addition to that, it would be very short-sighted of a tutor to take students away, because of course the students are only going to be with a tutor for a short term. It may be with them for 10, 15, 20 weeks in order to get them through their GCSEs or their A levels or their 11 plus perhaps. Once they're through that, then their tuition will more than likely stop, and therefore they'll need to come back to you for more students. So it would be very short-sighted of a tutor to simply take you out of the equation, because they would benefit in the short term, but in the medium to long term they wouldn't. So it is not something that we experience too much. In fact, it's something that we very, very rarely experience in our business. And so the model of running things that way not only is more correct, we believe, but is also far easier administratively. So as an example, let's say the average tutor lesson rate is £20. In some areas it may be 25 or more. And let's say your margin is £7.50. Now, based on students having 4 lessons per month, sometimes of course they'll have 5, sometimes they might have 3, depending on holiday periods and if they're unwell. If you had 20 students in that scenario, then you would be bringing in, or your tutors would be bringing in for you, £600 a month. If you had 50 students, then they would be bringing in £1,500 a month for you. And if you had 100 students, they'd be bringing in £3,000 a month for you. If we look at your outgoings, your franchise fee per month to us is only £130 plus VAT. We don't take a percentage of your turnover, so that £156 is fixed for the initial 5-year term of the franchise agreement. Insurance is approximately £45 a month to begin with, and your biggest outlay is to do with marketing. The more you spend and invest on marketing, the quicker and bigger your business will grow. It's as simple as that. It is a numbers game at the end of the day. We recommend that your marketing budget is at least £300 a month. So you need to make sure, if you join our business, that you do have enough money to invest in this marketing, particularly in the early months when you won't have necessarily much income from students. As your business grows, of course, you can start to plow money back in from student income, but at the beginning you will need some money for marketing to invest in the early months. So that's a quick introduction to the Summit Home Tutors franchise business. If you're interested, the next stage would be to get in contact with us and check that your area is available. We run our territories on an exclusive basis and by postcode. So there are some areas of the country which are already taken. So please do drop us an email and check to see whether your area is available, or you can give us a call also on 01795 859 180. Thank you very much for listening.